Hello again, and welcome again to If I Can, You Can Talk Show. My name is Deborah Philbert, and I am your host today again. And I want to thank everyone who kept continuously watching the show, viewing, and sending on the likes and all the comments. And just continue doing the comments because we love it, and our guests love it when you make comments. I am today. We are on you. So please can you go on and share because we are on Facebook Live, we are on YouTube, we are on Imagine TV, and we on Roku TV. So just continue sharing. And I want to say welcome again to all the people in the islands, like in Trinidad and Tobago, we are in Barbados, Jamaica, I think Africa, and all the other Caribbean countries that we are on right now, streaming right now. I want to say welcome again to you and thank you again, even to the people in Barbados and all the other countries. I know I spoke, I'm over talking myself today. But I just want to say welcome. And you know what? We have a great show for you today. A great show. This today, we're going to talk a little bit about sisterhood. And I know you have been around where you have people who you're going to say, like for me, I came from another country. I came from Trinidad and Tobago. I have sisters, yes, but I live in another state. But when you meet people in your life who, through all adversity you go through, they are there to listen to you, and that become your sisterhood. That's someone you can call on to. And I have a couple of sisters who, when I was down, they have been there for me. But this sister we met a couple years ago, it's like 14 years ago, and she's from another country and from another, but it's like a sister from another mother. So at the day, she's going to be my guest today. So we'll be talking about sisterhood. So gather your sisters around, your best friends, and you're going to hear like best friends talking today. So, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back on with my sister. Okay, here we back again to If I Can, You Can. And welcome to my beautiful sister, Miss Phyllis Newton. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Phyllis Newton. Phyllis is in the nursing field, and she has been in the nursing field for 20 plus years. Her passion is helping and inspiring and uplifting people and children to reach their fullest potential and to unite their voices and live in a place to speak their truth. And she's also a business owner. She's a mom, which she called herself a nana. and she's like, she loved dancing, reading. And yes, I know she loved dancing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit how I met Miss Phyllis Newton. So I was in a park, I work as a nanny. I'm about to say nanny. I work, and it was like 14 years ago, and we met in this park with two beautiful kids that they are all almost, one is teenager, one is almost teenager, and that's my family. And you guys can hear me talk. That's family is my family because when I moved to this country, to Georgia, I had no family. Phyllis became my family, and the Weinsteins became my family. They are my family today. And Phyllis and I, we just connected. We sat there talking, and from then on, our friendship grew. What I realized was that we most utterly like the same thing. I may be the quiet one, but she's the sassy one. She's the party one. And she's the one she loved dancing. But our friendship has grown. It's like my sister from another mother. We are around the same age. And her kids are my nieces and nephews. My kids are her, her nieces and nephews. So Phyllis, I want to welcome you and thank you for coming on the show today, my sister, and we're going to talk about sisterhood. We're going to tell people what sisterhood is about because I met you, and you know what, girl, you are my sister. Thank you, thank you. But first, one thing we do on the show when you come on, I want you to tell, because we all have a story to tell. We all come up with whatever story can help someone else. So today, I want you to tell me a little bit about you and yourself and your story.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Facebook and the Imagine TV. Thank you to everyone for stopping by. And Deborah gave you a little sneak peek about me. Yes, we go way back, and she already told you my name, but I am so happy to be here today, and I am so happy to be able to share a little about me to you. So yeah, my story. I grew up in the islands of the Bahamas. I'm an island girl, and my mother, she had 10 children, so I'm the eighth child. I don't know how lucky that number is, but I'm the eighth child. And like Deborah said, island people. Met people from all over the world. People, they share who they are. My passion was always working with children, always helping people. And I know that's the reason why I'm here. But I had traumas in my life as a young child. And we all, every household, every human being can tell you they had some traumas in their lives, but we do not have to dwell on traumas. Let us heal and move forward. And that's what I did. Healed, and I'm still working through the process, but I do not remain in my trauma. I move on to help people because every day, people, I'm always encouraging people and always give them a word of encouragement, and just try to lift their spirit. I was a person too. I because I had trauma in my life, I was not able to speak. So what you see I'm doing now, it's because over the years I have really worked on me. I have really worked on me. And I was muted. I had a muted voice. I was so passive. People they can say or do a lot of things to me, and I just let it go. But now, I might still be quiet. I'm a person that work in the background, but I'll let you know right away. Hey, listen, we're not going there. So, like I say, I had a lot of trauma in my life. I, many people do not know a lot about me, but like I said, when I was growing up, it was about only three to four of my mom kids because the others were older. And I tell you, I had quite a few traumas. And like I say, I'm here today as a testimony and that I can encourage others.
Yeah. And I love that because, I am blunt of how my trauma was. And then when I spoke to Phyllis, it took us years before that happened. When I came out and I told her, and everybody knew I am not afraid to speak about it because I can we grew up in a place where young ladies must be seen and not heard. And that's one of my things that really, when I got older, and I'm like, why is that? Why should I be seen and not heard? And if I've been hurt, I'm not afraid to say it now. Yes, I was abused as a child. Yes, it caused trauma in your life to like 40 something years in your life. but then they hold you back from really talking the truth. And it's like sometimes you don't even realize what happened to your foreparents, what happened to them. And so in the islands where we grew up, we are not seen. We are seen, but not heard. We cannot speak our truth. We cannot speak it because it's a stigma. It's a stigma. And that's where I am in this world. Like, I'm not going to have any more stigma, nothing holding me back from speaking my truth, from speaking what what happened to me as a child, what kept me running. And as Phyllis say, that trauma keeps you spiraling in different routes in your life. You grow, you have your kids, and you grew up as moms, and you for me, and I told people that I married because I wanted to get out of the home. I didn't want to be my mom. I didn't want to be my mom who had 6 kids and didn't know their father. So that's with me. But sometimes it's wrong. When you do that, you still go back into that trauma. You still take that with you. So I am so grateful that you come out today and say you had traumas in your life. Not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody's going to come out and say, hey, I had trauma. Because as old as we are, I embrace my 61. I'm happy I could see it now. I embrace it. But now I can say it. I can really speak my truth. And people see me talking, and as Phyllis said, I never used to speak. Phyllis know that. When you met me, Phyllis, was I a speaker? No.
Nope.
No. And many of my friends would tell me that. So I know you went into the nursing field. So can you tell me a little bit what made you, what caused you to do into the nursing field and helping others?
Well, like as I stated earlier, I know my passion is there to help people. And one of the ways that I remember helping people, even as a teenager, I would always go to people's homes, like the older people in the church that, can't get around. And I would go and help them. And I would go and do grocery shopping for them. And, kids, if they need something or I have so many children. They who are now, adults, young adults.
Right.
I have helped so many kids all around. Children were always with me. So that's one of the things that I know that God has called me to work with kids. And that's one of my passion. Even though in the nursing field, I've started that way back 20 plus years ago. And, the compassion. I am a person full of compassion and empathy for people. And if they hurt with me, I'm not going to take on your hurt and worry about it. What I do, I have a higher power. So I go in prayer. And, I encourage people. I give them words of encouragement. And, I don't like to see people hurt because even though I'm in the nursing field, you see a lot of hurting people that maybe they're in the hospital for certain things, but they just need a word.
Right.
They just need someone there to hold their hands, someone to just guide them along. And I feel that's just my calling, to go and help people, and especially in the nursing field, because we have a lot of people that really need personal hygiene. Teach them how to take care of themselves, how to even health wise with eating, how they need to eat healthy to help protect. This is you dwell in this body. This shell here is only an outer shell, but I dwell in here. So I'm going to take care of you.
Well, awesome. You're talking about nursing and talking about helping others and kids. For me, I remember growing up when, in the islands, you had to be a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, or a teacher. That's the field you get into. And I remember they were like, oh, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be a nurse. And I'm like, hell no, that's not my calling. Because that wasn't for me. I always wanted to be a business owner or be something where I always wanted to do business admin. But that wasn't, as you said, that's your passion. It wasn't my passion. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, something that I like. But you talk about that, and look what I'm doing now. But I just always say, God has a plan for you. Because when I moved to this country, I was like, God, why you put me into this? Because I had a great corporate job, I had a great life, but you put me into something else that I didn't like, but I grew to love it. Because working with children, for me, you work more with adults and children too. I never really worked with adults, like, in the nursing. I really still don't like nursing. It's not my thing. And I commend you for doing that, right? But for me, working with children now, and I realize that's God plan for me. Because as a mom, I had 3 kids. I had 5 siblings under me. So then what I realize now, I did take care of my siblings and I had to take care of my kids. And one day driving in my car, God said, no, because my kids are the future, I want you to take care of them. And that's when my nonprofit formed. But you knew that too, because I spoke to you about my journey when going through that. Remember, I was like, don't like this. But you know what? I'm so happy now that I got to work with children because honestly, the children really teach you so much that whenever you go, you're ready to go there and do his work, you can understand and empathize with the kids. So Phyllis, and I thank you. And I hope the whole of Facebook just give you some claps or some likes because what you do, and I listened to some of your story when the people who you take care of, how you talk to them, the way you talk when you come back and you tell me the passion, the messages you give them, the way how you talk to them, and especially if somebody is going through a crisis, when you tell me the story, I'm like, oh, my sister, God is great. So I am so grateful and thank you for that, for all what you are doing to help. And I want you to tell me a little bit about something else you want to do is like the water, giving them the water for kids in third world countries.
Yes, and before I get on that, Deborah, let me tell you, nursing was never my field. God led me to that because I don't know how, but I never really wanted to do nursing. I was scared. I was afraid of blood. I was afraid of dead people. I don't know how, but God, I guess He prepared me for this, and I guess that's why I didn't go as far as I wanted to, because I know right now God is preparing me for something else, and it's not to remain in that particular field. So one of the things that what I am working on right now, I have not launched it, or I'm just doing a lot of groundwork on it and research. I have a passion for providing clean water, drinking water for people around the world. And you would never believe how many millions of people around the world that does not have clean water to drink. And it hurts my heart when I really see the picture. And right now, I'm a part of an organization that provides clean water for people around the world. And before I even became a part of that, it was a passion of mine for me to really work on it. So here I am preparing, and I know one day I will be able to provide clean water for millions of people. So that is one of my projects that I'm working on. I have a few projects under my belt, but that particular one I'm working on. So when you see me come out and ask for a donation, hey, I need some donation so I could help provide clean water. So we have many people die from drinking because people only have lakes to drink from. People only have rivers they drink from, and we all know lakes and rivers. Those waters are just dirty. And some people in other countries, they are using it for bathing, they're using it for drinking, they're using it for washing their laundry. So we need to really bind together and let's help those community that does not have clean water to drink. Help me build those wells around the world.
Oh, thank you, Phyllis. And you know what? It's going to happen because you have it out in the atmosphere. And God say, ask and it shall be given into you. Seek it and you'll find it. So I know it's going to happen. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be back with you. And our topics our topic is sisterhood. So when we come back, we're going to talk about sisterhood. Hello to our Facebook friend, our people on Roku TV, and all our guests today. I want to say thank you again. And you are talking, and I'm Deborah, your host for If I Can, You Can Talk Show. All right. And, If I Can, You Can Talk Show is about, coming out and telling your story. The thing about it, I was afraid to tell my story, like Phyllis was afraid to tell her story. And during that time, not telling your story because you would not, you can meet people who could be good friends with you, who can become your sister, who can help you, but you're not talking. Your mouth is muted, you don't talk. And that's where my sisterhood formed. So I have other sisterhoods. I have Phyllis, my sister, and I have another sister, and I know if I call her name, Deborah Howell. I have two sisters I can call, Deborah Howell, Allison Emmanuel. But these two were the sisters I had when I really was muted, really couldn't speak, especially when I was going through a crisis in my life as a married mom, with going through a divorce, going through a separation with Celine. They become my sisters. All right. And then today I can still call them, just as I can pick up the phone and call Phyllis and say, hey, Phyllis, this is what going through. And she would listen. The same thing she does for me. And I know out there you have a lot of sisters, a sisterhood. So Phyllis, what do you think about us as sisterhood? What do you think as that sisterhood? Could you, just expand on that for your sisterhood?
Yes, good. Because I was looking through and seeing, hey, what does sisterhood really mean? And I sort of came up with some definition, and then I have my own definition. It say what sisterhood really means: loving and accepting someone where they are.
Mhm.
So isn't that powerful?
It's so powerful.
That is powerful. We
Powerful.
have to learn as sisters to accept one another where they are without judgment.
Mhm.
Let's accept you without forming. While I might talk to Deborah about something, or she may talk to me about something. I'm talking about her about something, and while I'm speaking, she's there, but I need her to be present emotionally,
Mhm.
which means don't form an opinion of what I'm saying. Just listen to me. And so that's what sisterhood is all about. Being there consistently, inspiring one another, like how Deborah and we inspire each other to reach your highest potential.
Potential. Yeah.
We push one another, and we push one another to reach your highest potential and God's will for your life.
Mm.
And that's what I can say with Deborah and we've been there. We take little trips and stuff together. No longer than last week, we had a girls' weekend.
Yeah, girls' weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so awesome.
Mhm.
So we be there for one another, and the qualities that you should look for in a sisterhood is honesty, loyalty, trustworthiness. Can I trust this person? Is this person loyal to me? Is this person honest with me? Because if I have something I'm telling you and I say, hey, I want your because Deborah could tell you, I'll be saying that, Deborah, I need your honest opinion on this. Whether it hurts me or not, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
Yes.
and
And
that's
because what's for me in that,
yeah.
I'm gonna take. And what it isn't for me, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah. And that's what we need in a sister, because sometimes you may be hurting or you may be doing something wrong and you think it's right. But if you can hear it from your sister, or this is your best friend, your girlfriend, hey Deb, be honest. Phyllis, this is what's going on with me. I did this, or I meet this, or I did this. But honesty, because you telling me, seeing it from a different lens, I know you care about me. And I know I care about you. And so I know a lot of people out there, you say, you may have friends and they may tell you, be blunt and tell you the truth. And then you eventually you befriend them. But as a sister, you should be able to take that and say, look, you know what? Let me go back and see what I can change. And as we said that, you said that last week we had a perform driving in the car, right? We were driving in the car and she was like, just be honest, be a sister. And I'm like, hey girl, you know what? I love you. No matter what, if we fall out today and we say something bad with each other, we are still sisters, right?
Yes.
Because we are human.
Hmm.
We are human. So that's it. And even with our kids, as a sister, I may like be stressed out. I could come and say, "This is what's going on with me," but I wouldn't hear it somewhere else, you know? And I value that. I value that. That just doing those different trips, even in business,
Yes.
even in business, you know, even in business, because I look at, I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, but we support each other in our business. You come with your business, I'm going to support you because you are my sister, right? I'm going to support you. I will buy from you first before I go to someone else because
And
that's what sisterhood is.
yes, and because that was one another main point that was important that I was gonna tell you about. And sisterhood, we have to, let's be in a sisterhood. It's the biggest part of sisterhood, support.
Hmm.
We have to support one another.
Yeah,
If
got
you're, if once you're in a sisterhood circle, you support one another. You see the sisterhood even with even the college,
yeah.
colleges, they
There's
have those alpha
yeah,
and all those different things, brotherhood, sisterhood, they support each other.
yeah,
And so that's what a sisterhood is all about, is to support each other. And because women are empowered through sisterhood.
hmm,
Women become empowered because you are essential. You're important. I am important. So let's be there and encourage and support one another, because this allows you to stand on in your own power. Once you support one another, like I'm here, I'm supporting Deborah with whatever she is putting forth. So what it does, it helps Deborah to stand in the power that she should be in, and vice versa. We can do it. She'll do it for me, and I know she will, because I know she has my back. So sisterhood is so important, and I value
yeah.
sisterhood.
The sisterhood, yeah, and it's really important, as as Phyllis said, it's really important out there. Whoever is listening, find some best friend. Find it, and it doesn't have to be one person. It could be a circle of friends who you could go to, who you can talk to, who you can cry to. Because I can remember, I remember once in my life when I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn, and coming from having everything to having nothing, right? And my friend Debbie, and I would pick up the phone like in the middle of the night. To this day, we still do it. We talk for hours. And I would call her and I would cry and I'd have a glass of wine and I would drink that wine and then I could drink more. And but she would listen and she wouldn't even say anything. And but she would pray or we were gone for hours. Like I remember once, like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, we gotta go sleep. But that's what I value that. I value that sister. And I always say, if it wasn't because she was there for me at that time, I would not be who I am today. I would not be where I'm at today. Today we are still sisters. We have a code. Midnight on our birthdays, we call each other midnight. If I don't call, she gets mad. And if she don't call, where are you? Why are you there? We don't talk to each other every day as much as before, but that sisterhood is still there. I could still pick up the phone 5 o'clock 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. She's gonna pick up that phone. If she doesn't answer the phone, trust me, I'm gonna get a phone call back. What's going on, sis? You know.
Hey, Deborah, that is true. Not cutting you off, but that is true, because that's what a true sister is. Someone that loves you from the heart.
Mhm.
That's what it really is. No matter how much you argue, like you stated earlier, you can argue like even your own blood brother and sister. When you were young, I remember, me and my sister and brother, we used to fight. We used to fight each other. But then after that is over, we come back together. And
Yeah.
we still brothers and sisters, and we still friends. So that's what it is with sisterhood, what you were saying.
Yeah, it's really I value that. I value that, sister. And we worked together. We met, we were 17 years old. She's older than me. I think we're 17, 18. And she's older than me, even though she moved away. But that sisterhood's still there. Even my other friend, I met her when we were 21, in my 20s, but she's still there. And to this day, I'm a call, and I just called her recently. I'm like, girl, I'm taking a trip. I'm coming to you. I just did one trip with my sister here. I did another trip with her, you know. So it's just that bonding, that where you can come out to, we all divorced, we all, you know, but
Yes.
we still have that community of sisters.
Yes.
Like Phyllis doesn't know my other sister, but she know them because I always talk about them, right? She never
Yes.
met them physically, but I value that. You can see the joy in my heart when I can call, and I always say, if anything happened to me today, anything happened in life, they can pick up their phone, call Phyllis, my kids, call Allison, call Debbie, call the Weinstein, Jill and Michael. They can call my siblings. But where I'm at today, my kids pick up the phone and call, and I can bet you anything they're doing, they drop it and they are right there. That's what sisterhood is about.
You're right.
That's what sisterhood is about. And that's familyhood too. You know, otherwise he's my family. But I always tell Phyllis, I tell you that all the time. I tell you that all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell me about, besides me, your other sisterhoods, like in your circle?
Yes. I have sisterhood. I have some friends that I've been friends for many, many years. They are not here living here where I am, but they live in other countries, and I can pick up the phone. We've been me and their kids grouped together. So I can pick up the phone anytime. I remember one night she just called me. It must have been a baby 1 in the morning. So we are like that. We said, you have anything going on, call us. No matter if you wake me up, anytime. And so I have that bond with a few of my friends, close friends that I have been friends with 30 something years. 30 something years, 40 something years, we still are friends. Me and a particular friend, one day I didn't call the entire year, 20, not 2020, 2021. And, she called me. She said, I saw your brother. And I said, I lost. They normally call me back home in my country, Queenie. So say, I lost her phone number. Give it to me. So he gave it to her, and she called me that very morning,
Yeah.
first thing in the morning, 7 a.m. I said, well, where she got my number from at this hour in the morning? She called me 7. She said, girl, where were you? So that is how we do it. I remember I went home in January of 2020 before the pandemic set in. And I went to I had a brother pass, and I went to her house. I said, girl, I said, I spent the entire day at the airport. The, the, the airline had to put me up because it was just, they canceled the flight on me. And I was trying to get home to the funeral. And so I said, I'm so hungry. She said, girl, sit in my house. And she cooked, and we talk about days way back when we were growing up together. So I have those type of friends. They called me from all the way from the Bahamas, checking on me.
Yeah.
Sisterhood. They say, girl, we have to meet together so we could get back together again. I
Yeah.
have many of those friends.
Yes. And
So sisterhood is really important
it's
because
really, really, really important too. And you talk about that, I'm just thinking back. I even have another group of women when I started my Toastmasters journey, but I as a district leader. And it's if a group of women, like they became another sisterhood circle for me because what I love about them, and even when I started my nonprofit, when I said I had my nonprofit and then I stopped to really to learn to speak, right? Because I wasn't speaking. And one of them, she's like, so what do you do with your nonprofit? But I consider her sisterhood because if she wasn't, you didn't get to know me. She's like, hey, I'm going to help you with this. This is what I did, you know. And she just came in and started doing the website, started promoting. And that's a sister. We meet once a month, but because of COVID, we meet once a month for lunch. But you get that circle. And I can call them and say, hey, I'm doing this, or hey, I'm going through this. So you have sisters in different circles. And that's my Toastmasters ones. You know, that's the ones that I can go to in that group and say, hey, you know, you hear their stories and you all can, you know, do it. So sisters comes in so many ways. It's
Mhm.
not by listening to a story, but helping you in other stuff too. And they help you to grow in other ways too, right? They help you to, like, if I can't, for me, I know I'm not that speaker right there, but they will help if I say, hey, I want this done, they're going to help me. So it's sisterhood is a wide range of things. Sisterhood is once we can go on trips, we can go like plan dates, you know, it's such a great thing to have other women in your life who are powerful, who have your back, who you can cry on, who could come in your house, sleep in the same bed with you, put your feet up on your couch. That's what I call you walk in my house is your house. You don't have to feel intimidated. That's what I consider sisterhood. Right? And so we want to talk a little bit more. We take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about our life as Christians. As sisters, as women, Okay, we are back. And, you know, we're going to talk about our faith journey as sisters. As sisters. And I had a couple people who I know as sisters. We could be sisters in Christ. We can be sisters in the world too. We can be sisters in other way. But we can talk about our sisters in Christ because I know I met Phyllis and she you were belonging to another. I'm Catholic. I grew up Catholic. My parents were Pentecostal, but I always know this is where God wanted me to be. And when I met Phyllis in the park, I know she knew me like that quiet girl. And a lot of people who came to the faith always talk to me is about the way how I carry myself, the way how, and I walk by faith. I walk by God's faith. I knew sometimes we don't trust him, but when I walked away from my job, I took my kids and moved to America. I had to walk by faith. And every step of the way, God had my back to this day. And I never valued it because sometimes you see God and you're like, oh no, I'm going through all this struggle. But then when I look back now, as you get older, you look back, you realize that He had your back. He had you all the time. Because when I look at other people's story, because I always tell people, I am for the homeless. I am for to listen to people's story. I will sit on the street with a homeless mom and listen to her story. And you see people doesn't have a home, but that never happened to me. Even though I didn't have a penny, God always provided. Somebody come in the way to help me. So I know we walk by faith, but not by sight, right? We walk in God's faith. And I know for you, you had walked in God's faith too, because we knew that as our sisters. So even though we the sisters who we go to like everybody else, we party, we talk about everything, but we still have that strong centered faith, which is God. right? And so for me, this is my faith, how I walk by God, how I trust Him. I didn't trust Him before, but now I trust Him every day in my life. When I wake up, He's the first thing I talk to, the first person I say, Jesus, I trust in you, and I thank you for this day, right? Because every day, as a single mom, walking this earth, walking in America with 3 kids, if it wasn't for God and these 2 successful kids today, and what I'm doing now, and all what I did, and all the people who came into my life. I know. So you tell me about your journey as a sister in Christ.
My journey, I had a long journey. I grew up, like I say, in the Bahamas, but I grew up on the island of Abaco. Abaco is the one of the islands in the Bahamas that was devastated by Hurricane Doreen. And my heart even bleeds up to today for that island, because I know where they were and how long it will take for it to be rebuilt. And but I grew up attending church. I grew up with the faith. I attend church. I normally used to tell people I attend church 7 days a week, because back then that was the only place where we were allowed to go, was the church.
Mm-hmm.
But not everything that happened when you grow up as a child that you agree with. I grew up in the Pentecostal church. It wasn't my kind of thing. And I strayed, I got married. I was one of those marriage that was arranged. I didn't want to get married. I was one of those. Now Deborah, she told you that she got married to get out. I didn't want to get married, but it was arranged and I had to get married. And back then, when they say you have to do something, you have to do it. And so, and I married someone that was in the faith also. And it still wasn't my kind of thing, but, I went along with it. And then, we didn't stay together. We stayed together for 21 years. And then, I had 3 children out of it. And because of that marriage, it really it put me in a spiral. And I quit church because, I blamed God. I say, I blamed him. I say, God, I blame you. And so I just quit church. And then eventually I would start visiting a church because I was hurting. And I had no support, no one to support me during that time. And everybody, after that happened, all the while God had his hand on me. And I know God had his hand on me.
Yeah, you do.
After all of that, everybody that came into my life, they were Catholic. And God took me the Catholic path. And a lot even of my blood relatives don't even realize what was happening. But like I said, and then I met Deborah, and Deborah was a Catholic. And not that I wanted to join the Catholic because she was a Catholic. No, God was working with me then. Through the eyes of faith, I could see the path where God was leading me. And he brought me through that. And I went to the classes. What's the name of that class again, Deborah?
RCIA.
The RCIA. So I went to that for 9 months. And I said, God, if you do not want me to be in the Catholic, religion, don't allow this to happen. And if I know that doesn't happen, then I know I'm not supposed to be in it. And do you believe that God allowed that to happen? That's how I know I was supposed to be in the Catholic faith. So God did that to draw me back to him. Mm-hmm. Because that was the only way. All those other religions, they would have never brought me back to God. Yeah. They would have never. So God used the Catholic, and this is how I came back into my faith. This is how I began to pray more and to trust him more. It's not that I didn't know God before. I did. But I lost faith. Yeah. I lost faith. Because I was angry at what was going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so here I am. Every day that I wake up now, And like I tell Deborah, I'm still on the journey. Life is not a destination, life is a journey. And
Yeah.
I am on that journey every day. And every day I get up, I meditate. I thank God. Every time I open my eyes, I say, Lord, I thank you for seeing another day.
Yeah.
So here, my faith, like I walk by faith. I don't walk by the sight because
Mhm.
I can't see far with sight. So my faith relies in God.
And
That is where my faith and trust is
yeah,
in Him.
it's in him. And you know, he already, and I always tell people Psalm 139, and that's one of my favorite Psalms that I read. And you know, sometimes I read it every day, I don't, but is when he said, I knew you before you were born. I knew you're coming. I knew you're going. I knew you in your mother's womb.
Yeah.
And so no matter what we do in life, no matter what obstacles we go to, no matter what, he already knew where we were going to be. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom grew up as Pentecostal. I went to Pentecostal church, but that wasn't for me. I remember one day, I was like, what, 15? Because we had to do what our parents said.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. You had to do, if they tell you you have to go to 50 different churches, you had to go to it, right? That wasn't me. I still go to my Catholic church. I went to Catholic school. That was me, you know. And I ended up being in the charismatic Catholic. So the charismatic Catholic where you can pray and sing and clap and dance and you know, and that was what I loved that. But the Pentecostal, and the pastor said one day, Sister Deborah, it's time for you to join the church. I didn't care if my mother spanked me after that and never went back. Never went back. I don't care what you did to me then. I never went back. And I always looked at it. It's not that I don't like the church. It wasn't for me. And as you say, whenever God wants you, He's going to have you.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. We all are serving one God. No matter where we serve it, who we serve, you know, what church we go to. But I felt that was for me. And that's where I get my fulfillment to this day. And people would still say, why are you in the Catholic Church? Or why are you doing this? I have friends who are not Catholic. But you know what? We still talk the same thing. We still read from the same Bible. We still, you know, verse that same scripture, right? And when we walk the same journey,
Yes.
nothing different, right? And as a sisterhood, even though you don't have to be Catholic, you don't have to be whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you can be Buddhist or whatever you want, we are still on that same wavelength. We are still
Yes.
walking by our faith.
Mm-hmm.
We are still looking at that journey. So, you know, I am so grateful that even though you came back centered to God,
Yes.
you know what? We always have to go, and that's your story. So you never know another woman out there, another sister out there. Hear your story, how you came back to God, and they might go back like today and walk back into to their faith. And that's what sisters is about. That's what the sisterhood is about. Because I met you, right? And I realized that a lot of people tell me that, like during COVID, I struggled with my faith, and I'll be honest with it. I did struggle with my faith. I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled with my faith because when I saw everything that's going around, it's going on, I struggled with it. But, and then I talked to one of my sisters in church, and she's like, you're the one brought me to this church, back to my faith. Are you going to leave it? But I would never leave my faith. But I can't, what other people do, I just have to make sure I may struggle with it, but God is still centered here.
Yes.
He's still centered here because I'm believing in Him, right? And my day is to meet Him, not what people do. So I had to realize that in the end, what somebody else do is they have to give witness to God. So that's where I'm at with my faith and with God. And you know what? I'm so grateful that you can tell your journey and your faith and our sisterhood. No matter
Yes.
what we do, we may party, sing, dance, laugh, cry, but we still centered with
It's,
God
yes. So
because God is
important.
the one He knew before I was even born that we were going to meet.
Yes.
He knew before I was born that I would be here talking to you on this show. He knew I would
Surely
meet
did.
Madeline, I would meet her husband. Everybody I meet, God know that. I didn't know.
No.
They're all from different countries,
Uh-huh.
and He knows. So God know that you're going to be in my. You are part of my nonprofit, right? You're part of
Yes.
Purple Hat. Um, when I started Joyful, I didn't even know the priests. I didn't even know the people, but God bring them together. So He bring
Yes.
the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the children. He bring that together, and that's what He wants us to do. So I
Yes.
am so grateful that today we can talk about that. We can empower other women out there to find a sister, even a
Yes.
sister in Christ, a sister in whatever. Find that group or find someone. Because for me, I got sanity. Trust me, if I didn't have you around sometime,
I think we each brought sanity to each other. Because it will remit me if I do not even thank the people that came into my life, because I left my country also.
Mhm.
And I left my country, and God provided a good family for me. Really good. I look at them as blood family. They look at me and my children are blood family. And
Yes.
Joan and Mark, if you come across this video, I thank you because you are my family. And I thank God for you every day. And for, the kids, I just love you guys. And I know that I hold a place in your heart and you hold a place in mine. Thank you.
Thank you. To Facebook family and friends, I know we are almost to finish, and thank you today for listening. But I want to challenge you, especially, and not only sisters, men, young girls, find a
Mhm.
group of women or best friend or someone that you can talk to when you feel hurt, when you feel pain, when something is going on in your life, if somebody is hurting you, you have that sister to talk to. And no judgment, no judge, because when you talk it, it heals. So continue to go out there and talk to someone. Phyllis, we have like 2 minutes. I want you to be, just tell the world about yourself, your business, and what you do and how they can contact you.
Okay, like again, thank you so much, Facebook family and friends, everyone that's viewing it. Thank you for stopping by to hear my story. You can reach me right now. I'm a travel agent. I have different business. I'm in a MLM. Plus, I do other stuff, and I have two other business that I'm working on. But you can reach me at on Facebook as Philly Newton, or you can contact me on Instagram as Philly35, and you can just drop me a line. If you would like to speak with me, just let me know, inbox me. I will be happy to let you know. And also, don't ever forget that I will be bringing clean water to drink around the world for other people that needs clean water to drink. So I will definitely need your support. We have to bind together as a community and as the world, so we can help other people drink clean water and not get sick, having all those different sickness from dirty water. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Facebook friends and family. See you again next week. We'll have a phenomenal guest again on. Thank you. And for everyone who have been on, thank you for keeping this show going. And see you next week. Bye.